This morning, Barb Mask, as we're going to be talking about the Dutch Days Festival. I thought we'd start with the theme, first of all, Barb, and it seems to be quite appropriate with what the river's doing right now.
Yes, very interesting to see all that happening again. Once brings back the memories vividly of what that was like when both Clinton and Fulton were fighting the flood of 65. And we chose a theme. Well, we've been choosing themes for years and years, so you can only do tulips, windmills, and wooden shoes so many times. And we've done some wonderful themes, and we like that because we want that Dutch Day Festival always to be seen as a cultural history experience, not just for fun, but a little deeper meaning. So we're careful about our themes and what we choose. And so this one seemed appropriate because we have a dike. You have a dike also. And the Dutch are known, if you Google what the Dutch are known for, they're the tallest people on the planet. They eat more licorice than anybody else, but they're also the water management experts of the world. So when I visited Dubai and they were reclaiming land there, they brought the Dutch people over. So there's that nice connection with us having the dike, and then that just brought us back to our flood of 65 because that's why we have the dike. And
thank goodness.
Such a tragedy that year with property loss, but no loss of life, so there was much to be thankful there. But the dike has brought us so close to the river. We can walk on that. We never could before. The railroad track always hugged the river. So it's a tragedy that turned into really a treasure for us in Fulton.
Let's talk a little bit about the history of Dutch Days. I believe it started out as just a dinner, right?
The Christian School Auxiliary started out serving a Dutch dinner, and it was very successful. And then it just got bigger. Then they decided to have a parade on a Saturday afternoon, and that's when I got called. And they just asked me if I would organize a parade to go in conjunction with their Dutch dinner, and that's how I got started. And then after a couple years, it just grew. And we had wonderful businessmen who were willing to work with us. Henry Kramer, Don Murray, Jim Bosma. I mean, really vision people in the city of Fulton who said, we really can see this go and grow. And so that's how it got started.
Again, visiting with Barb Mask, the 47th Annual Dutch Days Festival. Now, a big part of it is the Grand Marshal for the parade. And I believe you were telling me 1978 was your first Grand Marshal, and kind of a special Grand Marshal.
She was. It was Nellie Shipma. She was 99 years old at the time. Very alert, spry lady, and she was our oldest Dutch immigrant living at the time. And now her grandson, Mike Wiersma, is one of our committee members, so that's just a really nice connection. In fact, we have a picture of her riding in the convertible, and Mike is in the car with her at the time in a little Dutch costume. So nice to have that. And it's one of the things I think those of us who have been on the committee for a long time have come to really have an appreciation for people who were involved as kids growing up, and how they've connected with the festival and how they stay involved now as adults and want their children to have that same experience.
So what about this year? Who's our Grand Marshal? You're going to reveal that for us?
Yes. His name is Chuck Dykstra, formerly known as Charles T. Dykstra. Very active in the community for many, many years, grew up in Fulton, and then actually went to the Netherlands and worked there for many years with he and his wife and family. But Chuck has just been a real vital part of, he, along with others, created this downtown redevelopment group, and he chaired it up until the last year or so. And they would people donated money. This is totally independent of any outside agency. They would raise money, and then they would buy a building downtown, and they would remodel it and get it all ready to go. I mean, that's how we got Crumpets. They bought the building, and then they recruited her to come over and offered her a deal she couldn't resist. And they've continued to do that with downtown. So our downtown business section looks good, and he probably is the most historic preservationist of the group. So to make sure that the buildings get remodeled, they fit in with that. Downtown Fulton is on the National Registry of Historic Places. And that's a real unique and a very treasured thing to have in your downtown area. And Chuck has been also good about that. He's the Fulton Township Supervisor, so he's done a lot of improvements in the cemetery and created this medical equipment program, rent-free. Anybody in the township who needs a walker or any kind of piece of medical equipment, they just loan it to people.
What a great, deserving, and well-deserved honor for as our Grand Marshal. Of course, the parade, of course, will take place on Saturday, but we can't have the parade until the streets have been scrubbed.
Absolutely. The Dutch are clean. No question about it. Even in the Netherlands, when you're there, at the end of the day, the shopkeepers come outside their shop and scrub off the sidewalks before the day is over. And, of course, they also do that when there's going to be a big parade, that they clean the streets. And so that's a fun part for us to emulate that.
Barb, appreciate you coming in. Time goes by so quickly when I visit with you. Of course, I'm going to be talking to you next Saturday morning when I'm over there for Dutch Days.
We appreciate those live spots.
I enjoy doing that as well. But I want to bring up, we got something new on Friday evening, kind of a kickoff party.
We do. We've tried different things on Friday night. Nothing's ever really worked for a long term with us, so this is a new venture for us. I'm on that Fulton Fun crew, and they're always looking for things to do that are fun. And so I asked them if they would consider Friday night, so we're trying that. They're having a kickoff party down below the windmill, and they'll have a beer tent there. They've got kids' games planned. They have a live band, and so we're really excited to add that.
It's going to be a great festival. Looks like weather-wise for next week looking pretty good as we get to May 5th and 6th. Of course, arts and crafts. I know so many people usually go to that to pick up something for Mother's Day, which would be the following weekend.
We have more this year than we've had in a long time. So we're grateful for that. We got 16 food vendors, all the fun, fair food that everybody craves. The funnel cakes, the corn dogs, and all of that will be there. People liked, we're the first festival really in the area. And so people are really always looking forward to that.
And of course, clompin' dancing, there'll be the parade, as we mentioned, the fashion show. And of course, also you get an opportunity to take a look at some of that famous Dutch delf. That is just so beautiful.
Yeah.
Barb, if anybody would like to find out more information about Dutch Days, what would be the best way to do that?
They can go on a number of Facebook sites. There's Dutch Days, Dutch Days Fulton, Dutch Days 61252. They can also call me, city website, all kinds of places to call.
Best yet, just show up May 5th and 6th in downtown Fulton.
Yep.
Barb, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Check of the weather now, presented by American National.
Temperatures will continue their upward climb